Hi everybody, hi my sweet lifers. Today we're doing our 2 Chef show with Carl.
Sharing what we know.
And today we are doing Slap Ya Mama with quail egg crab cakes. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be something else.
That's good.
Exciting and new and yummy and delicious. I made some roasted peppers. I've got lots of yummy parsley from the garden.
I believe I see seeds in that. I just want to throw that out there.
But it's a regular red bell pepper. Y'all know I don't like those jalapeno seeds, so Carl remembered that. Anyway, this is an easy recipe. Everything goes into the bowl. Everything gets squished up with your hands. It's a great one to do with the children if they're not allergic to shellfish. Yep. It goes in the refrigerator for about 30 to 45 minutes. You can do it overnight if you wanted to. And then you put them in a little bit of oil and fry them up in the pan, and then drizzle some either your Seven Seeds sauce or some remoulade, which we're going to make some remoulade to go with it today. Okay. And it's an easy recipe to do. So let's just get started. I have 1 pound of lump crab meat, and what I need for you to do is crack all of those baby quail eggs and
crack them up.
Beat them up in that little container, little reservoir thing. Okay. And I'm going to put everything in that you need to put in there. So to the lump crab meat, you're going to put about 6 diced chives. I always call these the wrong thing. Green onions. And so the other thing you're going to want to put in is, and this the deal with the crab cakes I figured out over the years, you got to get the egg, panko, crab meat combo correct.
You got to get the right
proportions.
Okay.
It's kind of like when you were doing the carbonara.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you got all this stuff. It's not so much in the timing on this recipe as it is in the actual exact amounts.
It could be too bready. I've had some crab cakes before that were just like overwhelmed. I mean, I get it. Maybe they were trying to save money or something, but
right. There's too much panko and not enough meat.
Yeah.
So this is about a half a cup to a little bit more of the panko crumbs. This is 1 bell pepper that I have roasted right on the stovetop earlier today and cut it up and diced it up. I've got about, I would say, a tablespoon and a half of fresh curly parsley. You can use flat leaf, you can use whatever you've got. And if you don't have fresh, you could actually also use it dried if you needed to. And if that was the case, I'd say 1 tablespoon of dried. This is a tablespoon of baking powder. And then we've got Slap Ya Mama, of course.
Slap Ya Mama.
So this is 1 tablespoon and a half of Slap Ya Mama, which I happen to really like the way that tastes.
Can I share a Slap Ya Mama story?
Absolutely.
Is that good? Let me share a Slap Ya Mama story real quick. So my wife, Devonda, and myself lived in an apartment over in the Galleria area, and we love Cajun seasoning, Tony, Slap Ya Mama, all that. We decided we're going to try the Slap Ya Mamas. And a very small apartment, and the kitchen was like probably the size of this island, literally. And Vonda decided to pan fry, I can't remember if it was burgers or something, with Slap Ya Mama. I was convinced that day that she was trying to kill me. I tell you right now, I could not breathe.
Oh no!
I was gagging.
Oh,
she
no.
ran me out into the hallway of the apartment complex that we lived in, and we had to leave the door open for some time. So basically, be prepared.
Handle it with care.
Be prepared.
Handle it with care.
Yeah.
You can use Old Bay. You can use other stuff, but you know.
Oh, I love it. I love seasoning.
Slap Ya Mama. And I just wanted to put my own spin on it to do. The quail eggs are just absolutely fabulous. If you guys do not know about quail eggs, they are exactly the same as chicken eggs, except you just have to use a lot more of them, and they're so dang cute. Especially when you're making eggs Benedict, just put a little itty bitty tiny egg on there instead of that great big egg on there, or put 2 little baby eggs on there. They're just so cute. Take about a pinch, and I'm going to say and a half of kosher salt, and then about a tablespoon of Worcestershire, and then you've got my tablespoons over there. I need about a tablespoon of mayonnaise.
Well, I'm trying to.
Let me get over here and grab it.
I'm trying.
Your favorite mayonnaise, and so there's a tablespoon of mayonnaise. And since my fingers are going in, I'm just going to go ahead and scoop that out. And once you get those eggs beat up, we're going to stick that in here, and I'm going to squish everybody together and wash my hands. And then as soon as we've had a chance for this to chill in the refrigerator for about an hour or so, I'm going to scoot back to you, and we're going to fry them up. And while we're frying them up, I'm going to make the remoulade sauce.
Nice. Yes, this is a very tiny little whisk that I'm using here.
I know, I gave him the tiny little whisk for the tiny little eggs. I just think it's so cute.
That is funny. All right, you good with that?
I am good with that.
Okay.
It's really good.
Pour it in.
Uh-huh. And that was about 9 quail eggs. So you can, measure if you get some of them. The interesting thing about quail eggs is that some are little and some are a little bit bigger. And I just kind of looked at them to see kind of how much egg I needed. And I'm just going to get in here and start squishing everybody together and get everybody mixed up. And then I've got some saran wrap over there. And as soon as I get everybody combined real good, I'm going to get you to wrap that up while I'm washing my hands, and then we'll get this over to the refrigerator, and then we'll be back to you when that's chilled up and ready to go into the fryer. I love recipes that you get to be messy. This is such a good recipe to do with the children. It's an easy thing to do. And crab, I don't know about you, Carl, but if I had to choose on my top 5 things to eat for my last supper, crab cakes is going to be on that list.
Crab cakes is high up there,
It's
man.
high up there, man.
They got a little Cajun spot downtown Houston, and their crab cakes are delicious.
Are to die for.
Man, they're delicious. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow, I tell you what, sometimes it's hard to find the recipes that are just perfect. And once you find one, this is a good one, guys.
That one looks really good.
This is a good one. All right, so I'm going to go wash hands. You're going to wrap her up, and we will be back to you guys when this is all chilled up, and we'll see you soon. Hi, everybody. So we're back. This crab mixture has been sitting in the refrigerator for about 2 hours, and we are now ready to do our crab cakes, our slap your mama with quail eggs. And I am so excited. Like I said before, if I were to have a couple of things to choose from, it would be a filet mignon. It would be a crab cake like this, full of crab meat.
Yeah.
A couple of vodkas. Some chocolate torte cake.
A little bit of cognac for
a
cognac.
little homemade
Carlos
whipped cream with my sister's moonshine made vanilla. And that would be the last supper. That would be the last supper. A little chocolate, a little steak, a little crab. And a lot of vodka. A lot of vodka.
A little bit of crab cake with a vodka.
A little bit of crab cake with my vodka. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm actually going to make this plate be your patty plate. And what we've done is we've taken canola oil and we've started warming it up in the pan. And we're going to brown it, right? We're going to put it in there and let it sizzle and brown it. Almost like what used to be when I was growing up as a kiddo. Daddy would take salmon out of cans in the pantry. And he would put eggs in there and a little bit of onion, a little bit of pepper, and I don't know, maybe something else. I don't even know. Something else was in there, but he would make little salmon patties from that salmon in the can, and he would fry them up, and then he would just have that for dinner. Sometimes if he was coming in from delivering babies, he'd be gone all night long. He'd come in the middle of the night after catching youngins, and he wasn't any more food out. And so that was an easy way for him to make something to eat. But this, of course, is fresh lump crab meat, and we're going to just get in here, and you can make them as big as you want, and you can make them as thick as you want. But I have found that if you kind of try to keep them about the size of the palm of your hand, you're really doing good in terms of portions. I don't know that more than 2 somebody could eat. I mean, they're not you, not you, but the average person. If you were trying to portion this out for your family, certainly a child would probably not want more than 1.
They do, and that's actually a decent size. And if you had, like you said, 2 of them, and then it was something else to eat with it, like I was talking about that place, I like to go downtown. I like to get a bowl of their chicken and sausage gumbo, and then eat it with this. And
crab
just
cakes.
Open up the crab cake, and then kind of set it in the bowl, and then the gumbo and rice in the bowl. Oh man, my mouth's watering right now. But
that's good stuff right there. We need to make gumbo at some point.
Yeah.
You remember our first episode? Remember our first episode?
Which one was it?
It was shrimp and grits.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was really good.
That was a good recipe.
That was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have been having fun showing you guys all different kinds of things. These guys are they smell so good. And why you want to put them in the refrigerator is it gives it a chance to kind of meld together and to make it easier for you to make these little patties. If you try to do it as soon as we made it just
Yeah,
now,
all over the
they
place.
fall over everywhere.
And so for these, you're not breading them. They just go right in like this.
They go just like this,
Okay.
straight into the pan.
Okay.
You could if you wanted to,
Right. Yeah.
but I want there to be a crunch on them.
Yeah. I'm with it either way. With breading, without breading, yummy.
Okay, you're full there.
Okay.
So if you go
Do
stick
you
that
wanna-
in, bring me back the, bring me.
Okay, and then the plate. Do I just get another plate? To set
Yep.
them on? All right.
Yep. Or I'll get it once I get those last 3 patties made for you.
Let me check this temperature.
And then I'm gonna make a homemade remoulade sauce. I'll show you how to do that real quick. And it's really easy. Most of the ingredients that you're going to have to use for it are going to be something you already have in the pantry or your refrigerator. And not a big deal at all. I love these roasted peppers too. This really looks good, tastes good, and it's a nice little extra crunch in there. Yep, is that a little hot?
I think it's good enough now.
Okay.
Based off of my never have fried a crab patty before, but
You've never fried a crab patty
I
before?
never have.
You've fried a hush puppy before.
We'll let it heat up.
A little bit more?
A little more.
Okay.
I thought it was good. It's not good.
It's okay.
Bring this back. We'll watch her. Oh, I fried a lot of things. But I've never fried my own crab patties. So
Well, there's the first fair.
that's right.
You didn't fry any artichokes either.
I hadn't.
We did that on another episode. And those were something else too. On that episode, we made some aioli sauce. This episode, we're making remoulade sauce. And of course, anytime you want to have the best sauce, you go down to the food truck and get the 7 Seeds sauce that Vonda makes. I'm gonna go clean up.
It's true. That 7 sauce is something serious. We're gonna have to bottle that and find a way to get it into HEB,
Amen, brother.
Walmart.
Amen, brother.
It's starting to get good.
All right, while Carl is working on frying up the crab cakes, I'm going to show you how to make the remoulade sauce. So what I have in this bowl right now is 1 cup of mayonnaise and about 2.5 tablespoons of minced garlic. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I always do, which is squish up a lemon, get it good and squished, and then I'm going to cut her in half and use my juicer. Very juicy already, actually. Get fresh squeezed lemon, 1 full lemon. I love this little gizmo here. It's so handy because there's not any seeds. It took me a long time in my married of over 30 years life to break down and buy one of these little guys. But I think I saw somebody, it might have been Ina actually, on a garden who I just absolutely adore everything that that woman does. And her marriage is so similar to my marriage with Uncle B. They just adore each other like me and Brian adore each other. And they've been married for a long time like we have. And she had one on the show. And there's a little seed that got in there when I squirted that. So we'll pull that out of there like that. Okay, so 1 full lemon goes into the mayonnaise mixture. And then I want to add to that a couple of different things. I'm going to add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. And I'm going to eyeball it. I'd say it's about 1.5 tablespoons. I'm going to add some Cajun seasoning. Cajun, as we call it, about 1 tablespoon of that. I'm going to add some paprika, which you really need to have in there to give it that good color that looks good with the crab. And I've got cayenne pepper, and that one I would not do more than a little smidge because I'm feeding my family now. And I already have, let's be honest, Slap Your Mama is already on these. So we don't need to do a whole lot of extra slapping of your mama with extra spicy stuff. I'm going to do the same thing with the horseradish cream, a squirt, about a tablespoon of that. And the same thing with the seeded mustard. I like maybe more than that, maybe a tablespoon and a half of that. And then I'm gonna do a little bit of garlic, not salt, but garlic. Just a little bit more. I like the crunchy that comes into that mayonnaise a little bit with the minced, and then I like to have it distributed throughout. But let's be honest, I put garlic in everything almost. So a little garlic of this and a little garlic of that. Pinch of pepper. And then of course, more fresh parsley. Try to do as much fresh of anything we can find in the garden, and there's so much in the garden right now that is fresh. And this is an opportunity to use that wonderful fresh herbs from your garden. So fresh parsley goes in, just like that. And this sauce will keep for a couple of days in your refrigerator if you want to mix it before you do your crab cakes. Because the crab cakes can go in the refrigerator and be in for, I'd say, up to 24 hours. If you want to make them up like we did earlier, you can make this sauce, go ahead and cap it off and get it in a airtight container and have everything ready to go. So if you were going to do a grill, surf and turf, get everything ready to roll. This could be made ahead, that could be made ahead. Put your steaks on the grill, take your crab cakes, make them up, and pull this out. The other thing that I would say is if you want to, you could add, if you just wanted it to be a little bit of extra stuff, a little bit of extra, but you could add a little bit of the sour cream to it if you wanted it to be a little bit more stiff in terms of the texture. Because of the crab cakes being what they are, I like the drizzle. And Carl, and for those of you viewers that have been watching the show, the egg show that we did with the scotched quail eggs, which was a lot of quail stuff, we did quail in this recipe again today. This particular remoulade sauce is actually another choice that I would use for that recipe as well. So it's a good sauce recipe all around. So that's that. So now we're just going to wait till we get these crab cakes all fried up, and then we will show them to you. So there they are, and so I'm going to get a plate and show you how I plate it. I like to take either some arugula from the garden or some fresh salad greens and lay it down on the plate, and then lay 2 down on top of that, and then drizzle it with some of the remoulade sauce. So that's all we need to do to finish this up, and except eat it. Me and Carl are gonna eat it. Gonna have to eat it.
Amen.
Wish you could be eating it too. All right, let's see. We need 2 forks.
Okay.
For the 2 chefs.
Correct.
And let me put 2 of these. I actually did bring some salad greens. Actually, I pulled some spinach, as a matter of fact, which Uncle Brian won't be happy about, but oh well. We'll make him a different plate. There's one. And let's see. Let's get this one. There's 2. And do a little drizzle. Kind of like the hokey pokey. And there you have it, guys. Look at that. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Looks good.
All right, I'm going to taste it. Get a little bit of spinach with it too. Absolutely. Oh my God. It's good. I knew it was going to be good. I'm not putting recipes on the channel that aren't good. They're good. They're really good.
We got us something right there.
And you don't even need a squeeze of lemon, honestly, because of the lemon that's
Yeah,
in
no.
the sauce.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely perfect. It couldn't be any more perfect. Oh my heavens. Yum, yum. That's
Yeah.
living a sweet life,
My goodness.
isn't it? It really is. Listen, guys, I hope you found some value in this recipe, in this episode. If you have, do us a favor, like and share. Carl, do us the honor. Don't forget to ring that bell so that you're notified when we drop another episode on the Two Chefs Show, sharing what we know. And we'll see you soon. Take care.